Every time I would bring a guy home, my mom would always say, I've got a funny little feeling about him. And guess what? She was almost always right. In today's episode, I'm sharing why inviting trusted voices into your love life means so much. Welcome to Love Journey, the podcast where we prepare for love God's way. I'm Alana, your love life coach, here to help you heal, grow, and build a love that lasts. This is your place for real talk, biblical truth, and heart-deep transformation for the love God has for you. A love that is rooted in God, honesty, and trust. Welcome to Love Journey. Hey, my sister, welcome back to the Love Journey podcast. This is episode 3. Today, we're unpacking the second step in the Prepare framework, R, receive community counsel. This step can feel hard because it requires vulnerability and humility, because it means letting trusted people get all up in your business and speak life into your love life. But I'm telling you, when you embrace this, it can save you from heartbreak and really help you build relationships that honor God. If you're just tuning in, let me take a quick moment to remind you where we are in the series. We're in the middle of the Prepare for Love series, where I am walking you through the 7 steps of the Prepare framework, the exact process God used to transform my heart, my mindset, and my love life. Last week in episode 2, we started with step 1, pursue God first. When God is not at the center of your relationship, everything gets off track. And in that episode, we talked about how important it is to put Him first. And now, in step 2, we're building on that foundation by learning how to invite godly community into your love life. And I want to remind you guys, this framework, this process is not about perfection. It's about progress. Each step helps you prepare and position yourself for the marriage you've been praying for and eventually will have. So, with that foundation in mind, let's dive into why receiving community counsel is such a game changer in dating and how it can literally save you from unnecessary heartache. The Bible makes it clear we're not meant to do life or love in isolation. Community is essential for spiritual growth, mutual support, and fulfilling God's purpose in our lives. Proverbs 15:22 says, "Without counsel, plans fail, but with advisors advisors, they succeed." And Proverbs 11:14 echoes, "Where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors, there is safety." These verses highlight something we often forget. When we isolate ourselves in dating, we become vulnerable. We can get so caught up in the emotions, the chemistry, and the potential that we miss red flags others can see clearly. Proverbs 12:15 says, "The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice." My sister, in relationships, there are blind spots we simply cannot see on our own. And that's why God places people around us, mentors, our parents, and even friends, to help us discern what's real and what's not. And here's the truth. Avoiding community counsel often comes from pride, fear, or both. Proverbs 18:1 warns us, "Whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound judgment." Translate, ignore people's guidance at your own peril. So what does this look like in real life? Let me share my story with you. When I was dating, I would share stuff with my girlfriends. We would talk about the guys we were seeing and offer each other advice. But honestly, looking back, it was the blind leading the blind. We were all figuring things out at the same time, and while the support felt good, it wasn't necessarily always wise counsel. Occasionally, I talked to my mom, and she would give me her perspective. She had this phrase that she used for almost every guy I brought around. "I just have a funny little feeling about him. Well, you know what? She was almost always right. But at the time, I didn't want to hear it. I used to say to myself, what does she know? He's a nice guy. Now, I am sure my future self was screaming her head off, saying, she knows you and has your best in mind, you dummy. Okay, future self, that's a little harsh. Well, anyway, outside of my friends and those occasional conversations with my mom, I was mostly relying on me. And Jesus, he had no part in my love life. I didn't include him in any of my decisions. I only called on him when I wanted something from him. It wasn't until what I now call my preparation period that I realized my mom had been right about all of my past relationships. Her funny little feelings turned out to be spot on. And I thought to myself, if only I had listened, how much heartache could I have avoided? From that point forward, I made the decision I was going to take her counsel seriously. And for the next guy I bring around, I am definitely going to check in with mom to see if she got that funny little feeling. Well, fast forward to when I met my now husband. Before he even met my family, I told him, if my mom has a funny little feeling about you, we're just going to have to be friends. I was serious, y'all. The first time he met my family was at Thanksgiving. He came straight from a work ceremony, so he was all dressed up in his dress blues, looking all fine. He made a great impression on my family. They really seemed to like him immediately. As the day went on, he was in the living room watching the game with my dad and uncle while my mom and sister were in the kitchen. I slipped into the kitchen and asked her, so, do you have a funny little feeling? She paused, checked in with herself, and said, no. Y'all, I was so relieved because I really liked him, but I meant what I said. I would have walked away if she felt unsettled. That's just how much I'd learned to value the counsel of my community. That season taught me so much about the power of letting people speak into your life. And it's not just my experience. The Bible is full of wisdom about why we need godly counsel. Isaiah 9:6 reminds us that God is the ultimate counselor, and he often speaks through others. Seeking wise counsel protects us and positions us for his best. Here are 4 things that I know happens when you invite wise counsel. 1, they help you see blind spots. I mentioned this earlier. We all have areas we can't see clearly, especially when we're infatuated. A godly community provides an objective perspective. 2, they'll hold you accountable. It is so easy to lower your standards or to compromise when you're the only one making the call. Having a community will keep you accountable. Number 3, they confirm or challenge your discernment. God often uses others to affirm what he's already whispering to your heart or to challenge you when you're ignoring him. Number 4, they keep you from putting too much weight on a single relationship. When we don't have a support community, we place all our emotional needs on the person we're dating, and that's too much pressure for any relationship to bear. Having a community that speaks into your love life is great, but it's not enough. You have to promise to heed what they say. You might not want to hear it, but their feedback is meant to protect you. So, who do you actually allow to speak into your relationships? Because not everyone deserves that level of access. Here's what I would suggest. Look for people who love God and live out their faith. People who have strong character and healthy relationships themselves. People who are 100% for you and your future. And people who will be honest with you, not just nice. This could be a mentor at church, a married couple you respect, or a trusted friend who shares your values. And once you know who your people are, the next step is learning how to invite them in, because this can feel awkward if you're not sure how to start. Here's how you can do it. Be honest. Don't just share the highlight reels. Ask questions like, what do you see that I might be missing? And then be willing to listen without getting defensive. I know being vulnerable and letting people into this area of your life can feel uncomfortable at first. Trust me, I know, but it is so worth it. When you surround yourself with the right voices, you'll walk in so much more confidence and be at peace about your relationships. Next week, we're going to go even deeper as we talk about examining your character, because marriage doesn't fix character flaws, it magnifies them. And that episode is going to be powerful, so don't miss it. But before we go, here's your checkpoint challenge for the week. Pray and ask God to highlight one person you can invite into your love life for wise counsel. Then take action. Send them a text, set up coffee, and say, would you be willing to walk with me and speak into my relationship? Now, if they say yes, then here's the promise you have to make to them. That when they offer you counsel, you will graciously accept it and consider it with an open heart, even if it's not what you want to hear. My sister, thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. If this encouraged you, the best way you can support the podcast is by leaving a rating and a review. It helps more women discover this space so they can be encouraged in their love lives too. Also, I'd love to hear from you. If you have a question about love, dating, or marriage that you'd like me to answer either privately or on the podcast, email me at hello@lovejourneypodcast.com. Now remember, God's way isn't always the quickest, but it is the way that leads to love that lasts. I'm cheering you on, always.